There's something most men never learn. When a woman desires to share true intimacy with you, she rarely says it out loud. She won't announce that she wants to be close to you behind closed doors. Instead, she leaves signals written in her body language, her behavior, her energy. And this is where so many men fail. They wait for clear permission. They wait for words, and they miss everything. But the men who understand power, the Machiavellian men, they read these silent invitations. They see when her mind and body are preparing for that moment, long before she ever admits it. In this video, I'll reveal 7 precise signs that show you when a woman secretly wants to go further with you, even when her words say nothing. Stay until the end, because missing even one of these signals means you'll let slip a moment where you could have fully stepped into your masculine power and experienced the kind of connection most men only fantasize about. Let's begin. Sign 1. She moves closer and stays inside your space. There's a language far older than words, the silent dance of proximity. And when a woman starts playing with that distance, it's no accident. It's an invitation. Here's the scene. You're sitting across from her, or standing in a casual group, but slowly, almost like gravity pulling her in, she begins to close the space. Her knees angle toward you. Her arm brushes yours once, then again. Her perfume lingers closer than it needs to. She stays there. She doesn't flinch. She doesn't pull back. She settles inside your personal zone, comfortably. And here's where most men fail. They assume she's just being friendly. They think, she must feel safe around me. But what they don't see is this. When a woman enters your physical space and stays there, she's quietly signaling, if you lead, I won't resist. This isn't just comfort. This is early-stage permission. She's positioning herself for more without ever having to say it. Machiavelli once warned, "He who lets opportunity slip away may never see it return." In seduction, this rule becomes law. Women rarely give you words, but their bodies will open doors before their mouths ever do. If you fail to see it, the moment dissolves. Here's your actionable move. When she steps inside your space, you don't retreat. You hold your ground. You keep calm eye contact. You allow the unspoken tension to grow. The longer she stays close without resistance, the more her own imagination builds the desire you don't need to speak out loud. Now let's move forward, because the next test she throws at you is far more subtle. And if you don't recognize it, you'll fail without even realizing you were being tested. Sign 2. She creates private moments without risking her reputation. Desire always hides behind plausible deniability. She won't say it out loud, but she'll build the environment where things can happen without ever risking her image. Here's the scene. She texts, "I know this little quiet spot. It's perfect to relax a bit." Or, "Come over, we can study, watch something, or just hang out. No pressure." Or even in a group setting, she somehow pulls you aside for a private talk for just a second, and that second turns into half an hour. Now here's where most men completely miss the signal. They think, she just wants to talk. She's being friendly. No. She's controlling the environment so she doesn't have to control the outcome. She creates the privacy but leaves you responsible for reading the moment. Why? Because this allows her to preserve her reputation while still inviting escalation if you're man enough to lead. Machiavelli argued that men in general judge more by the eye than by the hand, for all can see, but few can touch. This is exactly what's happening here. She lets you see the door slightly open, but you'll never hear her voice say, "Walk in." That responsibility is yours. Move too fast, and you'll scare her. Move too slow, and she'll see you as blind and weak. The dangerous man sits perfectly in between. Here's your actionable move. When she creates these private windows, don't flood the moment with small talk or nervous energy. Sit still. Stay physically present. Let the silence build. Let her feel your calm control of the situation. Because when she feels your grounded masculine energy in that private space, her own mind pulls the trigger for you. Now let's move forward, because the next test is even more invisible. And if you don't recognize it, you'll fail without even realizing you were being tested. Sign 3. Her body is speaking, and it's not about words anymore. There comes a point where her mouth says one thing, but her body starts writing a completely different story. And if you can't read that story, you'll lose the opportunity before you even knew it was on the table. Let's paint the picture. You're sitting with her, at dinner, on her couch, or even having a simple conversation in public. On the surface, everything seems casual, but underneath, her subconscious has already started signaling her readiness. You begin noticing small but repeated patterns. She adjusts her hair repeatedly, even when it doesn't need fixing. Why? Because grooming is one of the oldest signs of attraction. She wants to appear more desirable without openly saying so. She subtly exposes her most vulnerable areas. Her neck tilts slightly. Her collarbone becomes visible. Her wrists rest openly. She may even casually adjust her top or cross her legs to enhance her curves, all designed to catch your eye while pretending it's accidental. Her lips part ever so slightly while she listens. Not from surprise, from subconscious anticipation. This is her body preparing. Her breathing pattern changes. It becomes softer, a bit deeper. The emotional tension is building inside her, and most importantly, the silent game of eye contact begins. She locks eyes longer than usual. She looks away, then she looks back, checking if you've understood. She's saying everything you need to know, without saying a single word. Now here's where most men collapse. They either pounce like amateurs, destroying the tension instantly, or they freeze, letting the moment evaporate into nothing. Remember this: desire lives in tension. Kill the tension. Kill the attraction. In your situation, her gestures are the eye candy. Her true desire is hidden in the silence. Here's your next move. When her body performs these silent invitations, lock deep eye contact but stay calm. Slow down every physical movement. Slowness amplifies tension. Never comment verbally on what she's doing. Let her escalate through her own internal loop of rising arousal. The longer she keeps performing, the stronger her own mind convinces itself that she wants you. Now let's move forward, because the next test is even more sophisticated. And if you don't recognize it, you'll fail without even realizing you were being tested. Sign 4. She obeys your subtle leadership, without resistance or questions. Attraction, at its core, isn't words. It's who controls the frame without needing to fight for it. And one of the clearest signs that she secretly wants to cross that line? She follows your lead before you even finish your sentence. Let's draw the scene. You're together. Maybe it's early, your first few dates. Maybe you've known her longer. The setting doesn't matter. What matters is what happens when you take command. You say things like, "Let's sit over there instead." "Come, I want to show you something." "Let's grab another drink." "Walk with me." Let's go somewhere quieter. Watch carefully. She doesn't pause. She doesn't ask, why? She doesn't hesitate, bargain, or negotiate. She simply moves. And in that moment, you are no longer two people debating. You're the leader, and she's already submitting to your rhythm. Remember this, when a woman willingly follows your lead without resistance, her body has already made the decision her words haven't voiced yet. Why? Because following a man is an emotional test of safety. Her subconscious is scanning. Can I trust his direction? Is his energy stable? Will I feel safe letting him lead me deeper? Machiavelli explains it with brutal precision. The wise man builds his power on foundations that cannot be taken from him. In other words, when she feels your leadership isn't based on begging or forcing, but on calm inner certainty, her instinct surrenders. Here's where most men destroy this dynamic. They ask for permission. Is that okay with you? They explain endlessly. I just thought maybe we could, if you want. They hesitate, and the moment dissolves. But here's your Machiavellian truth. Power that requires negotiation is unstable. Power that is simply accepted is unshakable. Your actionable move. The next time you suggest a move, deliver it like a king who has already decided. Speak with calm finality. Don't justify your decision. Don't watch her for approval. Expect compliance naturally. The way she instantly complies tells you everything about where her mind and her desire already are. Now let's move forward, because the next test is hidden, and if you don't recognize it, you'll fail without even realizing you were being tested. Sign 5. She opens up emotionally late at night. There's a reason these conversations never happen during the bright, noisy hours of the day. When the world gets dark, her defenses fall, and her hidden desires start to rise. Let's set the scene. You're sitting together. Maybe it's after dinner. Maybe after hours of light conversation. Or maybe you're already somewhere private, her place or yours. The clock moves past midnight. The energy shifts. Her voice drops slightly. Her body relaxes. Her eyes soften. And then, she begins to share things most people never hear. Stories about her childhood wounds, regrets she carries, fears about her future, exes who betrayed her trust, family conflicts she never discusses in daylight. Here's the brutal truth most men completely miss. She's not just sharing random stories. She's performing the emotional undressing that always comes before physical surrender. Why? Because a woman cannot give her body to a man if her emotions still wear armor. This is her subconscious way of asking, can I trust you with my vulnerability? Can you hold my softness without breaking it? Are you strong enough to handle all of me, not just my body? Machiavelli wrote, men are driven more by the hope of gain than by the fear of loss. Applied here, she's hoping to gain emotional safety while risking her deepest insecurities. She offers her raw truth as an unspoken invitation. If you can handle my soul, you may soon handle my body. Here's where most men fail the test. They interrupt. They comfort too quickly. They try to fix her pain. And in doing so, they break the very tension that's drawing her in. Remember this, a man who rushes to fix a woman's emotions weakens her attraction. A man who holds space for her emotions strengthens it. Now, your Machiavellian move. Sit still. Let her speak. Maintain calm eye contact. Validate her vulnerability with your presence, not with your words. Make her feel safe, not by solving, but by standing steady. Because when she sees you unshaken while she opens her soul, her desire to open everything else grows naturally. Now let's move forward. Sign 6. She provokes you with hidden invitations. When desire crosses into dangerous territory, a woman rarely exposes it in plain words. She hides her signals inside playful, harmless-sounding banter, letting you decode the real message without her risking rejection. Let's draw the scene. You're sitting across from her. The conversation flows. There's laughter, eye contact, shared smiles. But then, her tone changes, just slightly. She leans in, her voice softens, and suddenly you hear, "I probably shouldn't be here with you this late. You seem a little dangerous. I don't know if that's a good thing. You're trouble, aren't you? I can feel it." Understand this. These are not jokes. These are green lights disguised as yellow lights. She wants to escalate, but she wants you to read it, not hear it. Why? Because if she verbalizes it fully, she risks judgment, guilt, or losing control of the frame. But if you read it, take the lead, and hold composure, she gets to follow while preserving her innocence. Machiavelli wrote, "Men are blind in prosperity, cautious in adversity, and only wise when it's too late." Applied here, if you miss these encrypted signals, it's not because they weren't there, it's because you were too slow to recognize them. And most men do fail here. Some laugh nervously and kill the tension. Some become overly playful, turning the moment into harmless fun. Some freeze completely, afraid to misread. The dangerous man? He sees the signal. He doesn't need confirmation. Remember, a woman will test your perception before she gives you permission. If you need her to spell it out, you've already lost. Here's your actionable move. When she teases like this, don't match her words. Let a faint smirk rise, not too wide. Hold eye contact slightly longer than comfort allows. Lower your voice when you respond, and say something simple like, "You don't seem too scared to be here." Then let the silence hang, because the longer she feels that unspoken tension rising, the more her own mind does the work for you. Now let's move forward, because the final sign activates her deepest biological need, her silent fear of losing your attention to another woman. Sign 7. She tests if you can claim what's being offered without asking. Attraction builds in silence, but at some point, it demands a move. Here's the dynamic most men never master. At a certain stage, she doesn't want more talking. She doesn't want more teasing. She wants to feel your ability to take what's already being given, without forcing, without asking, without hesitation. Picture this. You're sitting close, maybe on her couch, maybe in your car, maybe at the edge of a late-night conversation. The energy is thick, her eyes meet yours, and this time she holds the gaze longer. Her pupils widen, her breathing subtly deepens. You feel her body slightly angling closer. She plays with her hair again, but slower this time. Her voice softens almost to a whisper, and then she looks away, but doesn't move away. A few minutes later, she lightly taps your arm while laughing, or her hand casually brushes yours and stays there just a fraction longer. Understand this deeply. She's not touching you for comfort. She's not playing for fun. She's creating a window of opportunity and watching if you're man enough to step through it. Because if you hesitate here, in her mind, you fail the ultimate test. Can he lead when the door opens? Machiavelli wrote, "Fortune is like a woman. She favors the bold, not those who delay. Applied here, attraction, like fortune, doesn't wait forever. If you fail to seize the moment she's offering, her desire evaporates. Here's why most men fail. Some overthink. Should I? Is it too soon? Some freeze, paralyzed by fear of making a mistake. Some retreat, waiting for more permission that will never come. But the dangerous man understands. Her physical cues are not an accident. They're a silent invitation for leadership. Remember this. In her world, leadership is not about asking for permission. It's about reading her silent green lights and moving with quiet certainty. Here's your actionable move. When she tests you like this, reduce your physical distance, slowly but confidently. Lower your voice, slow your speech. Let your hand lightly touch hers or rest closer, as if it's the most natural thing in the world. Maintain eye contact as the tension builds, and allow her mind to cross the final distance on its own. Because once she feels that you can confidently step into the space she's already created, her trust and her desire lock in fully. Now let's move forward. Because what happens next is the moment where ordinary men crumble, but dangerous men take full command of her desire. You've now stepped behind the curtain. You've seen what most men will never dare to see. The truth is simple and brutal. Attraction doesn't belong to those who try the hardest. It belongs to those who read the invisible game while everyone else is distracted by noise. Because a woman's deepest desire isn't triggered by words. It's not unlocked by gifts. It's not earned by endless effort. It's awakened by presence, by control, by the unshakable calm of a man who knows his own power. Every signal you've seen here is a door, but doors mean nothing if you're too blind, too hesitant, or too emotional to step through. Attraction is not given, it is taken when you master. The restraint to let her chase curiosity, the composure to remain unshaken under her tests, the boldness to act when her silent invitation appears. You move into the highest tier of men, the tier where you no longer pursue women. They orbit you. And when you operate like that, she doesn't just want you, she can't stop herself, because you're no longer part of her game. You are the game. If this opened your eyes and you're serious about becoming the man who's in full control of his life, my book is now available. The Undeniable Man, Built to be Chosen. It's a strategic guide for men who want to attract, lead, and dominate in their love life and beyond. Whether you're single or in a relationship, no fluff, no tricks, just pure, powerful strategy that will set you apart from 99% of men, and that you will actually use every day. The link is in the description. And if this video spoke to you, don't just keep your thoughts in your head. Write a comment, even just a few words. It helps you remember these lessons, and it might help someone else too. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this content, and share it with someone who, in your eyes, needs it right now. Just trust your instinct. We're all trying to get clearer, more solid inside. So let's build minds that don't break.